Hey guys, it's me Goose, and today I'm doing a part 2 video on talking about my overseas law. So, I realized I really didn't actually even get into anything in my last video, so this video hopefully will be longer than 6 minutes. So, yes, I found a character question sheet, and I've been working through it, and I'll put it up on the screen so you guys can see with me. And so, yeah, this is for Donovan, and I haven't gone through all of them yet, so it's kind of a little bit wishy-washy right now, but I'm just gonna yap and yeah, so, okay, let's start off. Name/nickname. Name, Donovan. His nickname is Dono/Don, but his main one is Dono. That's kind of what everyone calls him. That's his street name. It's so funny because in my head I'm like, they're all like in a gang and like, but like, I don't know how to, like, I'm the most like chud person ever. Like, I do not know anything about gangs, but anyway, so yes, and the only person that really calls him Don is Pele, so that's kind of vibes. He is 20 years old, so I kind of have in my head that they're like in the early 2000s/late 2000s, and I had somewhere down the line his birthday as being 1990, so this time frame is about the 2010s, which I kind of vibe with a little bit more because I was going for like a before kind of the internet was a thing vibe, but then I like the sort of 2010 like burger joint like kind of cringe sort of, I don't know, I like that time period, and also I was alive, so well, I wasn't like alive I was 4, but who cares. Well, I was the same age as him. Oh wait, no I wasn't. Never mind. Yeah, so that's the time period. Next, height/weight. In my mind, he's pretty tall, but he's kind of lanky. But he's kind of built in his like upper body, but his legs are like really skinny. We'll get to that a little bit later. Next, hair color. He is, I kind of am still figuring this out, but for right now he's like dirty blonde. I was gonna make it so that he bleaches his hair, but I kind of think he probably wouldn't. He probably wouldn't be bothered doing that, and he'd probably give himself like 3rd-degree burns. Anyway, so yeah, dirty blonde, kinda cute. Next, speedrun. Eye color, green. General scars/markings. He has some mainly all across his body from like fights and like scraps, and he kind of has a little bit of like rosacea and like acne scarring like on his face, but the main scar is that he has a large scar on his leg from an injury, and that is injury that is very formative, and I will get into that, but it's the injury that he sustained in youth that is chronic pain now. Okay, he is male. Parents, okay, I still don't even know really, but I'm kind of getting into it, so I'm also reading off my notes app, so if I sound like a robot, that's why. Okay, so this kind of like came to me in a dream, but I had this dream of this like mother with a family, and the father was really abusive, and the kids were like literally like their safety was really at risk, and it was like a weird like dream where they like a fairy like took the kids away or something, but the end of the dream was that the mother stayed with the fairy was like, do you want to come with like for a better life, and she said no, and she basically stayed with him in that house and was basically his maid, kind of like a traditional wife, and she knew how bad of a person he was, and she knew that he was like, you know, cheating on her and, you know, all that stuff, and he would go away for long periods of time, and he had control of all the money, and he would kind of berate her, and she stayed because she felt that purpose, I guess, of like being somebody's wife, and even if that meant she completely abandons all of her sense of self, and she basically was just needing that validation from a man so much that she put that above her kids. And yeah, so that was my dream, and I was like, wow, that's kind of a profound dream, and so that's kind of the vibe that I have for his parents, and I'm just, you know, his dad's just a bad person, and their mother enables him and chooses him, and the way I imagine it now is that Don would have left the house at 18, and he just, you know, he didn't even have anything, he just left and he just picked everything up, and he just went away. He didn't even have any money or anything like that. And his sister Kiara, another huge plot point that I'll probably get more into when I talk about her story, is that he, at the time when he was 18, she would have been like, wait, let me do the math. She is 3 years younger than him, so she would have still been 15. And he left her there, and he promised her that he would come back and get her. And he said, like, you know, just wait, like, I know, but he basically abandoned her in this horrible situation, and she couldn't escape it. And that's a big storyline that is probably more Kiara focused. But anyway, next. Next, siblings. Younger sister Kiara, she's 17 now in the modern or present of the story, and they have a strained relationship since Donovan obviously left, and Don basically raised Kiara in a way, and they had a really close relationship, and he protected her from a lot of the brunt of the abuse of their father. So he kind of took the fall for a lot of it, and he has a really strong protection over her, but then it kind of is outweighed by his hatred of his situation, and he just like he kind of makes the crappy decision to leave her. And you know, he chose kind of his own sanity over the, you know, protecting her. And when he left, Kiara internalized it so much and kind of felt like she was responsible for it, or, you know, she was too much, or she felt like it was her fault that he was getting, you know, so much of the brunt of the abuse. And she felt stranded and left behind by him. And, you know, he promised her, the whole time she was waiting until she turned 18, which she's not 18 yet, but she's been waiting for like 2 years, and she hasn't heard from him at all. And yeah, and now she chose to just leave, and she's trying her best to find him, but she doesn't even know where he is. Okay, so that's, I'll get more into that in Kiara when I make a video about Kiara. But next question. Sexuality, I really don't know, girl. I'm thinking probably bi-ish. He's just queer, I guess. Next, nationality, mixed white and Mexican. Birthday or date of birth, I just made up a random day, so 13th of the 7th, 1990. Next, this is where this is the tea, okay? Health condition, alright? So he has complex regional pain syndrome in his right leg by trauma from a heavy object. Now, I have actually written, like started, like basically finished writing like the whole scene of his injury, and I don't know if I should share it yet. I mean, I kind of should. So basically, it happened when he was like, I still don't even know, it was like, I think I wrote down like 8, no, 10, he was 10, and he was with Kiara in like this abandoned building, sort of. They like snuck out or whatever, just doing random rambunctious things, and basically they were playing hide and seek, and he hid like underneath these like cement stairs, because it was like everything was kind of like cement, that like it was all held up by cement pillars, and these stairs that go up to the different like layers, like there's like 30 layers of this building. They didn't have any like railing on them or anything, but yeah, he hid sort of underneath, kind of slid underneath it, and basically Kiara like went upstairs to go, you know, look for him, and when she stepped on one of the steps, some of the concrete like rubble fell onto him and onto his leg, and yeah, you can imagine how painful that would be. And he was kind of stuck. He was literally basically stuck underneath there for like a while, and then Kiara finally came down, and, you know, he was like, Kiara, come here, like, blah, 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 blah. And then she was only, what's 10 take away 3? I'm so bad at math. She was only like 7 at the time, so she couldn't lift it off. She couldn't lift all this heavy brick cement off. So she was just like, I don't know what to do. Like, should I get Dad? Like, should cause, you know, should we run back? Like, should I run back home to go get someone, or get Dad's to get some of his tools or something? And he was like, no, absolutely not, because he knew that whatever outcome this was way less, you know, bad than whatever would happen to him if their dad found out that they were sneaking out at night. So yeah, that's basically that. And then there's a whole second half of that story, which I'm like, should I say it? I'm just gonna like keep it a wrap right now, but that's basically the answer to that question. Okay, next, where do they live? They live in a town. Okay, guys, I need your help. I don't know what sounds better, so let me know. But I kind of had these two names, Craden and Grasmere, and I was like, kind of like Craydon, but then it's too close to crayon. So I kind of mixed them to be Grasden. I don't know if that's annoying. I don't know if that's cringe, but that's what I have for now. It's called Grasden, and he lives with roommates in sort of like a downtown apartment, sort of meet up, sort of like trap house. Like it's not really the best place, but he just like lives there anyway. Employment status: he works as a mechanic at a truck store. So he's my car is blue but my neck is red. That's him. Okay, next, ambitions and aspirations. I don't know yet. I really don't know, so that's a bit of a question mark. Yeah. Okay, personality type, Myers-Briggs. I kind of skipped this one because I was like, I am not doing all that anyway, but you kind of can get his personality from all the rest of the questions. Interests/hobbies. So he is a mechanic, and his hobbies, or what he likes, is he fixes broken things. And ever since he was a kid, he would always just take stuff from like junkyards and repurpose them. And he's very nifty, and he can fix pretty much anything because he had to be like really resourceful because he's kind of doesn't have much, so he made stuff from nothing. And he also likes skateboarding. So he also skateboards. Next, drugs/alcohol. Yes, he smokes cigarettes, bruh, and he drinks a lot. He kind of drinks a little bit too much, and he smokes way too much, so, yep. Flaws. I mean, what the hell? How am I even meant to, like, say it all? But this is what I wrote down. Treats people poorly, he breaks his promises, he doesn't really have good morals, he pushes people away, and he has violent outbursts. So that's just what I wrote down. Now, talents. I kind of already said this with the hobbies, but he can fix anything or he can find a solution to anything and is very crafty with what he has. What annoys him? His friends. He hates his friends. He literally cannot stand them, but he just tolerates them. And he honestly is the same as them, but I don't know why he hates them so much. And he also doesn't like... He hates seeing people that express themselves because he is kind of jealous and he resents them for, you know, being in a place where he kind of wants to be. And so yeah, he kind of is like, oh freaking hell, what's that person over there? Like if he sees any sort of self-expression, he's like, it's kind of like, he hates it. He doesn't like bright colours, and he hates when people correct him on small mistakes. He's kind of stubborn. He's like, no, like I literally like, no, because you don't actually understand, like, yes I did that wrong, but like it was like, no, because I know that though, like. What excites him? He loves the rain. All of this is kind of like from when he was a kid. He would always, that's one of the fond memories he has with his mother is, you know, that she would take him out into the rain and, you know, they would splash and splish splash, I was taking a bath. Anyway, but he kind of realized as he got older that those happy periods were mainly just when his mother was kind of, you know, in her up periods in her mental health, and he kind of learnt to not trust it as much because he knew that soon there was going to be it was going to be kind of taken away from him, so he kind of stopped enjoying his, you know, mother in that way, you know. He also loves new cigarettes, and a home-cooked meal, which he doesn't have often because no one really around him knows how to cook. He has no children. I don't know how he doesn't have no children. I don't know, because he's kind of getting around a little bit too much, but anyway. Next, past relationship. He had one with his neighbor and childhood friend, Gia, which is a new character, which I haven't told you guys about, but I love her so much, and her story is really getting developed, and I'll make another video on her too, probably. But yeah, they were childhood friends, but they both kind of realized they weren't very good for each other, and they didn't work out, and they were both struggling with sort of heteronormative ideals, in a way, and so, but yes, Gia is a character that, oh geez, I don't even know how to even start with her story, but all you have to know for now, because I probably will get to it later. Oh my god, yes I will, oh my god. I just looked, I wrote a whole thing about it. Anyway, yeah, I'll get into it later. Next, most precious possession. I'm just going to read this straight off my notes app. He has an old pocket knife that doesn't really work well anymore, but his dad gave it to him when they went on a hunting trip. Don never liked killing animals or anything like that, but he kept it because it was the one time he felt close to his dad, and it holds bittersweet memories of how he misses him so much, but also it serves as a reminder of the type of person that his dad wanted Don to be. As a kid, Don promised himself he wouldn't hurt anyone or anything like his dad, or use a knife in that sort of way, but he realizes he grew up into someone his dad would probably be very proud of for his violence, but he also resents it because he doesn't want to be what his dad would want him to be. And he does want his dad's approval, he does want his dad to be proud of him, but he also doesn't, in a way. And, you know, he grew up to be exactly kind of what he wanted him to be, and but he's like kind of victimizes himself. He's like, I don't know, like nothing else, like this is the only way, I don't know anything else, like, you know, he feels like violence is the answer when he kind of deep down knows it's not. Whoa, that was kind of a lot, guys. But yeah, the next question is their darkest secret, and I think maybe I might save that one to last because that has the most drama. So I might just answer the last two questions in this side of the dot points. Are they sociable? Honestly, not really. But he's very charismatic and he knows how to toy with people's emotions in a way, and he can get what he wants, and people kind of think he's really good with people, but he really isn't. Intelligence level. He is quite intelligent and he uses it to his advantage in social scenarios, but, you know, he's really stupid. He's smart, but he's also stupid because he knows better to not do the stuff that he's doing, but he kind of weaponizes his own intelligence in a way. But yeah, he's very resourceful. It's very easy to read people, sort of intelligent. Next, closest friends. His closest friend is probably Gia, realistically, and also Pele, but I kind of need to come up with more people in his group, potentially some people in Gia's circle, which I'll get into, but he has no secret powers. I wish he did, but he's Chud. Next, how do they view themselves? He views himself as rotten. Every time he looks in the mirror, he sees his father, and he hates it. He also sees himself as a victim most of the time, and blames his actions on his unfortunate situation, but he does know better. How do others view them? Others view him as a leader, strong, and a bit scared of him, but nobody really knows him at all. Like, he's literally in charge of everything, and, like, the group kind of, like, follows him, but they don't, if you were to ask him, like, any of the people in his group what even his, like, last name is, they would be like, The only person that really sees past that is Pele, and Pele kind of sees through and sees a scared kid in his eyes, and he kind of feels like he needs to fix him a little bit, which is also not good, but yeah. Physical strength. He's pretty strong in his arms and upper body, as I kind of said with his build, but he is weak in his leg from his chronic nerve pain. But yeah, he can throw a damn punch, that's for sure. Family relationships. Gonna keep this quick. Kiara. He loves her deeply, but also selfishly can't be around her because he views her innocence as a flaw and doesn't want his rot to spread to her. His mother. He misses her, but he knows she's too far gone to save. His father hasn't talked to him since he left, and he really does in his heart want to see him and just wants him to be a good person, but he also knows that that's not going to change. Okay, alright guys, now I'm going to go back to their darkest secret. But before I actually reveal that, I might have to get on a little bit of context. Gia is his neighbour, and she is in a foster house with a bunch of other foster kids, and they don't treat her very well at all. She is an immigrant, and she was in and out of foster care so much, and she just doesn't have, her current foster family does not care about her at all, and kind of just wants the paychecks, you know? And there is one person that is this family's biological son, and he's the oldest. His name is Jet, and he is not good to Gia at all. He, trigger warning guys, really big trigger warning, he takes advantage of her in ways that sort of play on the power dynamic that he is the favourite kid in the household because these parents kind of, you know, they're his actual parents or whatever, and so he gets special treatment, and he uses that against Gia. He kind of promises Gia that she won't, like, you know, I'll make sure that you get extra food this week if you do this for me, and or I'll make sure that you don't get bad punishments as much if you know, perform certain acts. He's really sad, and he just eventually builds it up to the point where it gets really bad for her. Anyway, I'll get more into that in Gia's story. The reason they became friends is because he heard sort of this ruckus, or he just like saw, I guess, Gia was trying to like run away or like escape through a window or something, and he sort of helped her, and he saw that like she was in trouble, so he snuck her in to like their back shed or whatever, and you know, that's how it started, and he was helping protect her from when things would get really bad, and so she would sort of have an escape with him and also Kiara. And Donovan, when he realized what was actually happening to Gia and the abuse that she was experiencing, he tried his best to sort of not intervene at all, because that's what Gia wanted. And his darkest secret is that he couldn't take it anymore. He couldn't take what was happening to Gia, and he killed Jet. He killed him. He couldn't stand it anymore, and he didn't tell Gia he was going to do this, and he never told her. Basically, one night he snuck into their house, and he knew from what Gia had told him that this older brother was sort of like a sort of drug dealer type vibe, or, you know, kind of he had a lot of access to drugs, and so he kind of hatched a plan that he was going to frame it in a way that made it look like a drug overdose. But he snuck into their house and he suffocated him in his sleep. And then after he knew he was out, he found whatever drugs were around, and I think I still don't really know yet, but he framed it in a way that made it look like he overdosed. And there wasn't enough resources in the town to really, like, assess his body properly for, like, his cause of death. So nobody knew it was from suffocation, but he did already have too much drugs in his system. And like the police and stuff kind of were already well aware of this guy. So it was easy for the not very good police to assume it was an overdose. But Donovan feels like his secret will one day come to light, and he's worried that Gia will find out, and, he just has that weight on his shoulders. But he did it because he's okay with whatever consequence comes from it, because he cares that much about Gia, and he knows that she's much safer now. Okay, guys, that was a lot. I only got through like half of that list in this video, but I'm definitely gonna make more videos, but I don't know when, guys, because these videos take ages to edit because I talk too much and I have to edit out like all my mistakes. But anyway, yeah, if anyone has any questions, or if anyone wants to like make art of him or any of my OCs, like, I would appreciate it so much. I literally like I don't even care if you can't even draw. I literally would love it even if it was just a stick figure. Anyway, okay, thanks for watching and listening. I love you guys. Bye.